Kody Brown, once the central figure of Sister Wives, is now facing the most devastating downfall of his life. After months of courtroom battles, shocking testimonies, and hidden truths finally surfacing, the judge delivered a crushing verdict, a staggering $4. $1 million judgment and a prison sentence that has left the world stunned. What began as whispers of secret accounts, fraudulent property dealings, and concealed financial records has now been proven in court with undeniable evidence. Former family members and close associates stepped forward with documents, receipts, and damning testimony that painted Kody not as a misunderstood patriarch, but as the mastermind of deception. The courtroom erupted with gasps when the verdict was read, leaving Kody visibly shaken as his carefully crafted empire collapsed before his eyes. His reputation is shattered, his wealth stripped, and his freedom taken away in an instant. For some, this moment represents long-awaited justice. For others, it raises new questions about just how deep the secrets go. One thing is certain, this is not just the end of Kody Brown's public image, but the complete destruction of the life he once believed untouchable. As the sentence was handed down, the shockwaves spread far beyond the courtroom. Fans of Sister Wives, once glued to their screens watching the family's unconventional lifestyle, were left speechless at the dramatic turn of events. Social media lit up instantly. Hashtags like Kody Brown verdict, a justice served, and Sister Wives scandal began trending worldwide. Meanwhile, Robyn Brown, the last standing wife, was seen clutching papers marked evidence, her face etched with panic as the reality of losing everything began to sink in. Sources close to the family revealed that tensions inside the Brown household had reached an all-time high, with accusations flying and alliances breaking apart. Kody himself, once confident and defiant, could barely look at the judge as the gavel came down. His attorney attempted one final appeal, but it was dismissed within moments. The ruling was clear. Kody Brown must not only repay millions in damages, but also serve time behind bars. Outside the courthouse, protesters and supporters clashed, some shouting that justice was long overdue, others insisting that Kody had been unfairly targeted. Yet inside the court, the verdict was final. Now, with prison time looming and millions owed, the once untouchable patriarch finds himself stripped of the very empire he built on national television. The question remains, will his legacy be remembered as that of a pioneering figure in reality TV, or as a man brought down by his own greed and deception the days following the sentencing? The reality of Kody Brown's fate began to sink in. Not only for him, but for his fractured family. The once sprawling polygamous empire that had been broadcast to millions of viewers was now nothing more than a cautionary tale. Former wives Mary, Janelle, and Christine were quick to distance themselves, releasing quiet but firm statements through attorneys and social media, each making it clear they had no involvement in Kody's alleged schemes. Their focus, they said, was on healing, rebuilding, and protecting their children from the public storm. Inside the prison system, Kody's new life is a stark contrast to the lavish homes, cars, and cameras he once enjoyed. Gone are the designer jackets, the expensive jewelry, and the control he once held over those around him. Instead, his days are reduced to strict routines, shared quarters, and constant surveillance. Sources claim that the former reality star has struggled to adapt, clashing with both inmates and guards, his trademark arrogance rubbing many the wrong way. But without cameras to shield him, there's no editing, no production crew, and no way to hide his vulnerabilities. Meanwhile, Robyn has been left in shambles. With mounting debt and no income stream strong enough to offset the multi-million-dollar judgment, she faces the very real possibility of losing the family's home. Paparazzi have already spotted her at courthouses, reportedly fighting to hold on to what little stability she has left. The once polished image of the favorite wife has crumbled, replaced by public sympathy from some, but harsh criticism from others who blame her for enabling Kody's downfall. As for the children, the impact has been devastating. Many have spoken out anonymously, expressing feelings of betrayal, anger, and even relief. Some have admitted that while it hurts to see their father fall so hard, they hope this chapter finally brings accountability. Others, however, remain silent, their pain shielded from the public eye. And while Kody serves his time behind bars, the outside world continues to debate. Was this justice long overdue? Or was it an overcorrection fueled by years of controversy? One thing is certain, the story of Kody Brown is no longer one of unconventional family living. It is now a story of downfall, debt, and disgrace. As weeks turned into months, the fallout from Kody Brown's conviction only grew heavier. Robyn, once the polished last wife standing, was forced to make the painful decision to sell the family's lavish Flagstaff mansion. Real estate records revealed the property went for far less than its value, swallowed up by foreclosure threats and mounting legal fees. For the first time, Robyn was spotted at discount stores instead of luxury boutiques, her carefully curated lifestyle shattered in plain sight. Meanwhile, television networks scrambled to address the scandal. TLC, once the proud home of sister wives, released a carefully worded statement. "We are saddened by recent events surrounding Kody Brown. The network has chosen to end all affiliations with the family effective immediately. Syndication rights were quietly pulled, and streaming platforms began debating whether to remove older seasons altogether, citing public backlash. In the entertainment world, the Browns went from reality TV pioneers to pariahs in record time. Yet as always, scandal draws attention. Rumors swirled of production companies circling the story, pitching exposés, documentaries, and tell-all specials. Several of Kody's adult children were approached to participate, with whispers of multi-million-dollar deals being offered for exclusive interviews. Insiders claim Christine and Janelle, now free of Kody's influence, are considering signing contracts that would finally let them tell their side of the story. Mary, however, remains more cautious, speaking only in cryptic social media posts. Inside the prison, Kody grew increasingly isolated. Once accustomed to commanding attention, he now struggled with anonymity and powerlessness. Letters from fans dwindled and visits became rare. Inmates reportedly mocked him, calling him TV preacher and Mr. Sister Wives, reducing the once proud patriarch to just another inmate number. The man who built his identity on control and visibility now found himself silenced, locked away, and forgotten by the very world that once made him famous. But perhaps the most haunting part of the saga lies in the family's next chapter. Without Kody's shadow looming, his children have begun to rebuild, some finding peace, others still carrying the scars of years under his control. And yet, despite the pain, the question lingers. Will this be the final chapter in the Brown family saga, or just the beginning of a new story? One told not by Kody, but by those who finally found their voices after his empire collapsed. Years passed, and the world moved on from the chaos that once surrounded the Brown family. Reality TV had found new stars, new scandals, and new obsessions. But when whispers began circulating that Kody Brown was nearing release from prison, the media frenzy reignited almost overnight. Reporters camped outside prison gates, paparazzi dusted off old files, and the public braced itself for the return of the man who had once dominated headlines with both his unconventional lifestyle and his shocking downfall. When the day finally came, Kody stepped out of prison thinner, grayer, and visibly aged. Gone was the swagger that once defined him. In its place was a hollowed man carrying the weight of disgrace. Cameras flashed, but this time there were no cheers. Only shouts from protesters, victims, and angry fans who still remembered the millions lost and the betrayal felt. Kody tried to keep his head down, but the world was not ready to forgive. For his family, his release stirred up old wounds. Christine and Janelle made it clear they wanted no part in his return, their lives rebuilt around independence and healing. Mary, though still cautious, had grown into her own power, building businesses and finally stepping out of the shadows. As for Robyn, the years had not been kind. Left to raise her children largely alone, burdened with debt and scrutiny, she was seen only occasionally, avoiding cameras and retreating from the public eye. Kody attempted a comeback. Rumors swirled of a tell-all memoir, exclusive interviews, and even pitches for a new reality show that would document his redemption story. But the public's appetite had changed. Where once there was curiosity, now there was only skepticism. Every move was met with criticism, every word with doubt. The man who once thrived in the spotlight now found that the spotlight burned. His children, now older, were the true voices of the Brown family legacy. Some went public with stories of manipulation, control, and trauma, while others simply asked to be left alone. The truth about life behind the cameras emerged piece by piece, painting a darker and more complicated picture than anyone had imagined during the height of the show's success. In the end, Kody Brown's name became less about fame and more about infamy. His story was taught not as one of polygamy or family, but as a warning: how power, greed, and deception can tear down not just a man, but an entire legacy. And though he walked free, Kody remained a prisoner of his past, forever marked by the scandal that destroyed his empire. As the dust settled, one truth became undeniable: Kody Brown's story was no longer about family, but about downfall. Once the face of polygamy in America, he had become a cautionary tale etched into reality TV history. His empire worth millions had evaporated. His reputation, once powerful, was destroyed. And his family, once paraded before the cameras, was forever fractured. Viewers who had spent years watching his rise now witnessed his collapse in slow motion. The lavish homes, the luxury cars, the confidence he carried, it had all been stripped away, leaving only a broken man who could not escape the shadow of his own choices. The women who once stood by his side moved forward, stronger and freer without him. The children, though scarred, found their own voices and futures. And the fans? They turned the page, leaving Kody to the history books as another fallen figure who thought he was untouchable. In the end, Kody Brown's story is not one of triumph or legacy. It is a warning. A warning that greed, arrogance, and deception always come with a price. And for Kody, that price was everything. So as the world asks the final question, what happened to Kody Brown? The answer is simple: he destroyed himself, and the world will never look at him the same again. But perhaps the greatest twist of all is this. Even after the verdict, the prison sentence, and the shattered empire, the story of Kody Brown refuses to die. His name lingers in headlines, his legacy debated in whispers, and his choices dissected by millions who once invited him into their living rooms. And maybe that's the cruelest punishment of all. Kody Brown may walk free one day, but he will never escape the shadow of his own downfall. His family has moved on, his empire is gone, and the world will never forget. Kody Brown wanted fame, fortune, and control, but in the end, he got exactly what he feared most: irrelevance.